Here we are. The problem for Casper Ruud in this final is that he won 4 games the last 2 times they played. So obviously last year, a lot of you guys remember the 0-1 quarterfinal. But in 24, they played at the ATP finals in Turin, and Sinner won 1-2. They played in Vienna in 21. It was 7-5, 6-1 for Sinner, and then in 2020, 7-6, 6-3 in Vienna again for Sinner. So, they haven't played that much, relatively speaking, but, beating someone 0-1, it has to have an effect. Of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that much. Someone in my analysis video yesterday made a great point or a great statement. How can Medvedev lose 0-0 to Berrettini in Monte Carlo on clay? And then he beats the dominant player right now. He goes not close to beating, but he puts the number 1 player in the world in a lot of trouble, and plays amazing tennis and loses in 3 tight sets. So that's tennis. Anything can happen. So certainly Ruud can provide some trouble to Sinner, especially in the context of what's been going on with Jannik. Because, as I've said in multiple live streams and in yesterday's analysis video and the preview for the final, Jannik, I think, is suffering from a lot of pressure. I think a combination of that and maybe, this streak that he's been on and playing a lot of tournaments, a lot of matches, even though I don't think that's as much of a factor. Contrary to popular belief, I think Jannik Sinner is highly capable of playing these matches, and matches have not been that taxing, relatively speaking, in this winning stretch. There's been very few 3-set matches. I mean, there's been the Mahaj 3-setter and Monte Carlo. There's been the 6-6 final against Medvedev in Indian Wells. And then, yesterday's match, or that 2-day match against Medvedev here in Rome, those have been the taxing matches. So personally, I don't think it's fatigue, exhaustion, and all that. I mean, you guys have to remember that Rafa and Djokovic too, but Rafa more specifically went on these rampages in the clay court season, played everything consecutive. There's enough rest in between these tournaments. There's days of rest where players can recharge their batteries, and they're highly capable of going on runs, right? So I regard Sinner as the same level as skill set wise. I'm not going to open up this discussion right now, but I regard Sinner at the GOAT level, as I say. So that includes everything. You can't be a GOAT level player and have endurance problems. So I think Jannik Sinner is highly capable of going long in matches, going deep. He's done it. He's proven it. In many matches, yes, he's had some issues physically. I've talked about them yesterday. Spaziri match, Greek Sport match, the recent Medvedev match. There's been a Medvedev match in Wimbledon. I think it was in 24, even though Sinner was sick there. So there's been some examples of struggles. Holger Rune match, 2025 Australian Open. So there's been some examples of physical struggles, but again, I don't think this is something that people, they point this thing out because there's nothing else you can point out about Jannik Sinner as far as weaknesses, right? So they point out his best-of-5 record and all that, and I don't think it's as big of a problem for him. Certainly, it is a concern. I'm not saying it's not something that is a concern. Certainly, it is that every now and then Sinner will struggle physically, sure. But back to the Ruud chance that he has. I think a lot of this has been connected to the pressure that Sinner has been feeling at this tournament, and a lot of the great commenters from Italy in my videos have educated me so much on what's going on in Italy. And I mean, these guys are superstars in Italy, these top players. I mean, of course, Sinner, but even some of the other guys. And there's a lot of pressure for this match. This is the most important tournament in Italy, by far. And I say this because they have the ATP finals, and that's, you can make the argument that's the 5th most important tournament on the ATP calendar, but this, specifically for Italians, is the most important tournament. If I'm not mistaken, there's even the president is going to attend this match. Panatta is going to present the trophy, so there's a lot of pressure, and therein lies the chance for Casper Ruud that Jannik Sinner does feel the pressure. Combined with long rallies, exhausting rallies, going to the limit, like 20-plus ball rallies, maybe we'll see something similar what we saw against Rublev, actually, in the second set from Sinner, and then, of course, in the Medvedev match. That's Ruud's chance, and he is highly capable of requiring that from his opponents on clay, because he's a clay court beast. This guy is not respected enough, in my opinion, Casper Ruud. He was often trolled on the internet as the 250s king, and that's an insult. There's how hard it is to win a 250 tournament. Are you kidding me? And I was so happy to see him win the ATP 1000 in Madrid last year. So this guy is absolutely amazing on clay. 2 Roland Garros finals are incredible. That in itself is an incredible result. Of course, he reached the US Open final as well. So this guy on clay is very dangerous. He has the second heaviest forehand on the tour. His backhand is also very heavy, and some people have claimed that he's flattened it out a little bit, that it was too spinny before. I think the backhand has improved, but that's going to be his danger zone, because if Sinner gets to his backhand, that's how we saw those score lines. And you combine that with Sinner's dominance on his serve, the ability to hold serve the entirety of matches, and the fact that Casper, he has a good serve, but certainly a serve where Jannik Sinner will have opportunities to get into rallies. Casper is not going to be able to take Sinner's racket out of his hand when he's returning, and that's the danger for Casper. So, long story short, if Jannik Sinner doesn't run into physical issues, I think this is going to be a very comfortable straight set victory. If the nerves kick in a little bit for Jannik, combined with some of the fatigue issues, I think this could be very physical, and it could be difficult for Jannik. But I don't expect Jannik to run into these problems, because he's the ultimate professional, and he's proven time and time again that he can find his best level when it matters the most. He's able to recover in matches. We have to not only acknowledge the physical trouble, but also the fact that he knows how to recover. So he recovered against Spizzirri in Australia. He did recover there. And he did recover against Medvedev. Now, we're not going to get into the Spizzirri match again, because he was helped, with the break. That's a story for another day, or not. We don't ever have to bring that up again. You can watch my video when I analyzed that match. I talked long enough about that, but he knows how to recover. He knows how to find his best tennis when it matters the most, and I do think he's going to come out strong in this one, just like he came out strong yesterday in those few games against Medvedev. So I expect this to be, like I said, comfortable straight set. And it's going to be something amazing. I don't know if you saw my picture on this live prior to me coming on. He's won everything, like, other than the Rome tournament, right? And he's been in the final here. So if he wins this, he's got the Golden Masters, second player in history to be able to do so after Djokovic. And it's incredible. And, if he gets the Roland Garros title right after this, he's got all the Grand Slams wrapped up too. And then, of course, Olympic Games in 2028 is coming up, and he certainly has fantastic chances to win that too. But we can't look that far ahead in the future. We got to focus on this match. So let's take a look in the chat here. The match, I think, is slightly delayed. True Tennis Vibe is in here. Ruud deserved to be a winner of a big tournament. He won Madrid. That's a huge tournament. That's a ATP 1000. Dude, listen, Ruud is respected on tour. It's only the people on Reddit that don't respect him. You know, don't worry. He's respected in the real tennis community. He's had a great career, and it's nice to see him have a little bit of a resurgence now because, you know, there's been some ups and downs for sure since he's won that Madrid title. And there were even some ups and downs prior to that. So, you know, he's been around for a while, Casper. So this is good for him. This is good. Right before Roland Garros, get his ranking up. In fact, let's take a look at his LTR. And we'll take a look where he's going to end up. Okay, he's going to be 17. So he's up 8 spots, 17 in the world. So back in the top 20. 1 spot behind Darderi at 16. So, you know, he's on the right track. Career high, number 2 in the world. So if you reach 2 in the world, are you kidding me? I mean, how can that not create anything but respect for a player, you know? Do you know how difficult it is to get up there, even in the top 10? But number 2, that's absolutely insane. I think a lot of weight's going to fall off Sinner's shoulders if he ends up winning this. It's going to be a big relief because he wants to win this very badly. Here's Sinner, Darth Sinner in black. Love it. Official pasta, Rumo. It's on sale right now at Whole Foods. I got a bunch of it. It's really good, actually, Rumo. If you guys haven't tried it, Rumo. However, I don't know how you say it in Italian, but anyway, it's on sale right now. You guys got to grab some at Whole Foods. It's good. In Norwegian, Ruud is pronounced roughly Ruud, but not quite like English Ruud. Try the Turkish approach if you can't. Ruud. Peter, I lived with 4 Norwegian guys in college. I was there for 5 years in college, and then 4 years out of the 5 I had a Norwegian roommate. And that's one of the toughest languages, Norwegian. Very difficult for me. I did not learn much of it. And pronunciation, very, very tough. Hey, Kathy, nice to see you in here. Ruud did have a fantastic match last week, too. That a lot of people were kind of bashing this match, but that Ruud Tsitsipas match in Madrid, I thought that was very high quality. And just people are so negative about Tsitsipas, and I think they think, okay, Tsitsipas almost beat Ruud, you know, then Ruud must be past his prime too. But that match right there was, like, to me, entertainment factor was high. And I thought that some portions of that match, the quality was high too. Of course, you know, there were some ups and downs from Tsitsipas in the return games, but that right there was a very important match for Ruud to win. And you can see it in his body language. He was very, very relieved to have won that one. Then, of course, you know, he didn't play his best tennis against Blocks. And Blocks came out hot on that day, was playing exceptional tennis in the quarterfinals. But I think looking back, reaching the quarters in Madrid was important for Casper. And he backed it up, and now he's in the final. So, unfortunately for him, he's going to have a horrible seed at the Roland Garros. You know, being what did I say? Is it 17 in the world? No, let me check again. He is going to be 17, yeah. He's 17 in the world. It's still a pretty decent seed. No, wait, it's not. Yes, it is. Okay, let me think. Hold on. Let me think. No, it's not a good seed. It's not a good seed. Like, where it ends being good is 16, because 16 draws 1 or 2 seed in the fourth round. And so 17 means you can have Sinner third round. That's what it means. So that's a brutal thing. It depends very much on the draw. You can have a good draw because Alcaraz is missing, you know. You could have a good draw, get a nice section of the draw for a guy like Ruud, or you can have an absolutely brutal draw. And same goes for a guy like Feast too. So there's, you know, these two guys are not ranked very high, and they can get punished by their current low ranking, because their level, obviously, especially on clay, is higher than that. Yes, that's a good point, Lynx. Yes, Alcaraz is not playing. You're right. So he's going to be 16. So he's going to be all right. You're so right. I forgot about that. Yes. Great point, Lynx. So yeah, Alcaraz, because you don't want Djokovic in the third round. You don't want Sinner in the third round if you're Feast. You don't want that. Even though, you know, you could make the argument that Feast could come through Djokovic. I mean, that would be an interesting match, especially with Goran being his coach. I think that one I would like to see, but no point talking about it now until we see the draw, which I think is going to come out on Thursday, right? Thursday. So time for me to get my paper ready. I'm going to fill it out by hand, as I do for every Grand Slam. Low tech, okay? Low tech at Intuitive Tennis, always. Keeping it real. Have you seen how bent Feast's arm is on the forehand? Cool to see that you can just, in fact, have tons of power without a straight arm. I mean, if you followed me in the last 8 years, I mean, in 2018, I released a video, straight arm versus bent arm forehand, and the vast majority of forehands are hit with a bent arm, including some of the greatest forehands in the history of tennis. So this is a complete myth. And it started with Federer and Nadal, and they both had a straight arm. And mostly Federer, and people fell in love with this idea of having a straight arm. It's a completely intuitive, stylistic element, and makes absolutely no difference in regards to power. Zero. And like I said, most players actually have a bent arm. You have so many examples of incredible forehands that are hit with a bent arm. You know, incredible. And there's no correlation to power. Trust me. I've got a lot of videos on this subject that you can check out. Just type in Intuitive Tennis first, and then whatever comes later, bent arm forehand, and you'll find a bunch of great material on the subject. And, you know, I mean, obvious examples, these two guys right here. Jannik Sinner has a bent arm forehand. You know what I mean? Like that should tell you everything you need to know. Again, it's stylistic. Yeah, Alcaraz is straight, Sinner is bent, just like, you know, Djokovic is bent, Murray's bent, Nadal, Federer is straight. It's stylistic. All right, let's get started. Ruud serving first. And starts with a body blast. Sinner frames, 15 love. Kick on the first serve from Ruud. Misses it, clips the net. Second serve kick again, and these guys are in a rally. And Sinner putting way more height than usual on this rally. And this is not something that you generally want to do against Casper Ruud, get involved in these 22-shot rallies. But I think if you're sitting, you're feeling a little bit of tension, maybe getting into a rally when you're returning early and shaking off some of the nerves is a great tactic. Ace from Casper Ruud, 40 love. Casper starting strong in this one. You already get a feel that this is not going to be 1-0. Another big serve out wide from Ruud. And what a game from Casper Ruud. Flawless game. Absolutely flawless. Absolutely flawless. Oh yeah, the scoreboard. Yeah, we got it taken care of. We got the scoreboard taken care of, guys. Sinner against Sinner's anxiety and pressure today. True tennis vibe. A lot of truth in what you're saying. There's a lot of truth in what you're saying. That's going to be the big test from Sinner. I mean, just look at those guys in the suits right there sitting there. They look so serious, you know. I mean, it's like natural to be a little bit tight, but I think Jannik's going to be okay. Jannik is going to be okay. Interesting to see today how Jannik is going to serve. Always keep an eye on his first serve percentage, which was, you know, fantastic for a long stretch of time, but a little bit up and down during this tournament. Ruud's biggest weakness is his backhand relative to Sinner's strength. So Sinner is going to look to attack there and put pressure on the Ruud backhand. But like I've said in the beginning, the Ruud backhand has improved, as you can see in this rally. I mean, it's not like that. It's a relative weakness, right? So not really a weakness. Love 15, loose ball error from Sinner. First serve miss from Sinner. Second serve. And a nice two-handed backhand cross-court winner. He jumped into that one, 15-all. I like that particular shot from Jannik. You know, when he's inside the court, even when he's pushed off the court a little bit, like if he hits it from the doubles alley. I like that particular shot. I'm not the biggest fan of it when he starts doing it behind the baseline. First serve miss from Sinner. Going through a second serve again. The second serve has been rock solid from Sinner. In fact, I think that's a shot that has improved a lot. I see more juice on that thing for sure. Another loose ball error from Sinner. You know, for him, that's a loose ball error. That's you know, for other players, might not be, but he was outside the court. But that's a shot that Jannik makes all day, is that open stance. But this time he dumps it into the net. 15-30. Mini window for Ruud. to me, my first impression of Sinner, he's a little bit tight in this match. That second rally of the match was some of the softest I've seen Jannik Sinner hit in a very long time. Second serve again. And 1540, Casper Ruud with the slice backhand in this rally. Not generally something that's going to work against Jannik. And then he eventually comes over a backhand, hits a beautiful cross-court drop shot. Jannik tries to hit a counter drop shot, puts a little too much underspin on it, hits it into the net, 1540, 2 break points. Jannik Sinner needs his first serve right here. First serve is not clicking. And he misses another one, second serve. Jannik Sinner misses very easy forehand. He's definitely tight in this one, guys. He has not made a first serve. And it's break 2-0. Ruud came out playing very solid, not giving Jannik any mistakes. In fact, I don't know if Ruud had missed a single ball yet. And Jannik has not made a serve, and he's missing. He's missing. And looking a little bit tight on some of these shots. One thing that is very impressive from Sinner is his ability to refocus and re-break. You know, I always say that's like Djokovic style because Djokovic is the best in the business at that. I think Alcaraz is very good at that as well. So let's see if Sinner can get the break right back. He wins the first point. A lot better rally from Sinner in that one. But Ruud, rock solid. Beautiful forehand pass, 15-all. And he's utilizing the drop shot against Sinner. A forehand drop shot this time. That's something that worked really well from Medvedev, and I'm sure that the coaching team from Ruud observed that. And I would not be surprised if he utilizes a lot of drop shots in this match. It's the second one that he's hit, and he's won 2 points with the drop shots. And Ruud overhits a forehand, 15-30. Good return from Sinner, though. Looked good, actually. I didn't see it right. It was kind of short in actuality. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. It was a loose ball error from Casper Ruud, 15-30. There's Christian Ruud, former top 100 player, the dad of Casper. A slice error from Ruud, and that's an interesting tactic. I'm not the biggest fan of the slice tactic for Casper Ruud because, again, I don't think Jannik Sinner struggles with slice. Yes, people point out the Dimitrov match, but that's on grass, and I don't think it was necessarily the slice that was causing so much problems for Sinner in that point. It was rather the serve of Dimitrov and him coming in a lot. On clay, slicing against Jannik, don't think it's going to work. Drop shots, that's a different story. There's the down the line backhand from Jannik. Okay, so here's the real Jannik. He's played himself into this match right here. And this is a different player. I'd see more speed on his balls. Gets the break back. 2-1 Ruud. First set. Marcus, thank you for the super chat. The women's final yesterday was awesome. Yes, what a women's final. I mean, you know, Coco Gauff, big fighter. Svitolina, big fighter. It was so nice to see Svitolina, you know, find her top level and be a competitor for the biggest titles. There was some really incredible rallies. I do think Coco should have gotten that first set up 4-3, 40 love. That's when the double fault started. And double fault like really hurt, like cost her that first set. She hit 2 in that game, 40 love and a 40-30, and then serving to stay in the match. She started that game with like a really bad double fault and double faulted on set point, lost that first set 6-4. So I felt like that first set, Coco started so strong. And if she wins that first set, maybe could have gone her way. But in any case, yeah, it was a great women's final. Women's tennis is great. And I've been actually watching some matches in Strasbourg earlier this morning. And there were actually a lot of great ITF 125s last week on the women's side as well. There was a crazy good one. It was in Italy. WTA 125 was Yastremska against Krejcikova in the final. Can you believe it? At a 125. And Yastremska won. So anyway, curious, it was Casper's forehand which broke down in this game, not his backhand. Yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to know that, you know. Jannik started hitting better, stronger. Maybe forced some of those errors. Hard to say. Jannik Sinner has not made a first serve yet. Can you believe it? Second serve again. Prior to the match, I thought the biggest danger for Casper is that backhand side, and that's what I said in my preview last night. If Sinner can, you know, put a lot of aggressive shots into the Ruud backhand, he's going to be at a huge advantage. And what I'm seeing today is actually quite discouraging from Casper. It's a lot of slices when he's being defensive on the backhand. And again, with a slice, especially on defense, you're not going to win against Jannik Sinner. It's no chance. So at this point, Jannik Sinner comes into the backhand, puts the volley away. 15 love. And not sure if there was a let, because I'm having a hard time seeing with the half shade. It was let and out. Okay, second serve. Jannik Sinner has not made a first serve yet in this match. Can you believe this? Casper Ruud forehand is so good. Incredible forehand. He hits it with so much angle, so much power that Jannik Sinner concedes the point because he's at the lines umpire chair, non-existing lines umpire chair. I know they're not there anymore. But he's at the fence and wide open court. Ruud hits a backhand winner. And there's a first serve from Sinner for the first time. Ruud gets it back in play very high and pounds the forehand off a high ball from Jannik. and misses it long, 30-15. That's a loose ball error from Ruud right there. Laura, maybe Ruud is slicing to mix things up. Yeah, it's generally not a bad tactic. I just think specifically against Sinner, the solution is power, and slice is the opposite of that. Now, drop shot is a little bit different. That's an exception. But how Medvedev was playing against Sinner, that's the solution. Long, hard, deep, into the corners, serving close to the lines. That's how, because Yannick is still gonna get to those balls, and you can like wear him out that way. So regular rally like this, where he's just like kind of hitting a little bit higher with shape against Ruud, more central. I don't know if that's gonna test Yannick physically that much. Ruud comes in on that one. Yannick with the shoelace ripper, he's playing a lot better. 40-15. Man, those passing shots are so good from Yannick Sinner. Just because he has so much RPM, and he also naturally hits the ball a little bit lower over the net. Coming to the net against Sinner, everybody says it's a great strategy. It's a fantastic strategy. Great serve from Sinner, hold 2-all. It's not that great of a strategy unless you're coming in, with some really high quality stuff. If let's put it this way, if Sinner gets his racket on the ball and you're at the net, you are in a lot of trouble. You are in a tremendous amount of trouble because he's going to hit that ground stroke just his normal, natural way, has a ton of RPM. Things are going to go low over the net. You're going to hit the volley up or hit a half volley even, and it's going to be impossible. So if you get him out wide and he's like stretching a little bit more, that's different. Or if you bring a lot of heat to him, maybe that's different. Ace, Ruud, 15 love. Ruud is serving well. Sinner not. That's been the difference so far in the serve department. 2 out of 10 serves for Sinner, 8 out of 10 serves for Ruud. That's a big difference. I think Sinner is fortunate that it's 2-all. Is that Ruud played a little bit of a loose game, that 2-0 game, give him a couple of mistakes. I think Ruud could have been up 3-1 right now. And a beautiful backhand down the line winner from Casper Ruud, 30 love. Casper Ruud playing well. Hi, Sophia. Nice to see you in here. And there's a mistake off a slice for Sinner. He tries to go down the line, misses it. That's not a shot that Yannick misses very often. I love Ruud's low serve toss. Yeah, people love quick service motions with a low toss. People love it. They love Kyrgios, they love Roscoe Tanner. Did you see his ankle was shaking after that first serve miss? Was that nerves? Or who you talking about, Tease Cody? Did you talk about Sinner or 40-15? $40-30. You recommend against low toss serves for amateurs, or is it fine? it is okay if it's natural, like if you've always served like that. But if you're trying to change to a low toss, which many amateur players do, it creates a lot of problems. And another down the line backhand miss from Sinner, this time wide. Ruud holds 3-2. It creates a lot of problems. Like generally in tennis, especially at the amateur level, the time is always your friend. So if you can have more time on your strokes to set up, it's going to be, you know, easier for you. And then on the serve, it's similar. If you give yourself more time to get everything loaded and ready and set up, it's going to be better than doing something very, very quickly. I've not seen somebody yet, and I've analyzed thousands upon thousands of recreational players. I've not yet seen someone adapt a quick rhythm with a low toss and that had the correct fundamentals in it. But there always are fundamental flaws in that type of serve. Unless we're talking about someone that's naturally serving like that, which is very rare. And the general problem usually for a toss like that is inability to load the body properly. So most players end up kind of arming the serve when they serve very quickly. Like they don't load the body. It just kind of turns into more of an arm serve. Oh, T's quoted, Ruud's ankle was subtly shaking, but still noticeable. 30 love at 12. I didn't see that. I don't know. But just from just looking at these two guys, that Sinner is feeling better now, I think. But when they first came out, the first two games, Sinner was rock solid. And it was actually, I mean, Ruud was rock solid. And it was actually Sinner who was a little bit shaky. Maybe he was feeling his nerves a little bit. I think, you know, Casper came out in this one rock solid. I can't get over how beautiful that facility looks in Rome. The first drop shot from Sinner, inside out, off a great first serve, and Ruud runs it down, overhits the ball, 15 love. It's so important that Sinner serves well. So many reasons. Not that it's necessarily going to determine whether he's going to win or lose, but in the context of what's been happening here at this tournament and what could potentially happen in this match, the way it's shaping out to be, because it doesn't look like it's going to be like easy one, right? This looks like a tight match, right? The first serve is going to be key. Bad bounce. A fantastic rally from Casper Ruud, but again, I'm not seeing that much aggression from Sinner. It's almost like the strokes are loopier and they don't look as fast. I do not think that he's swinging freely in this match. And you know, something that I didn't think was going to be possible, Ruud is outplaying Sinner from the baseline. He's won 10-8 in baseline rallies for Casper Ruud. I did not think that was going to be the case prior to the match. Casper Ruud slicing some backhands in this one. And Sinner rips a forehand off a higher ball. Casper Ruud covering a lot of ground in this rally, and it's so weird. He's running side to side. He ends up hitting one, you know, inside the court, hitting a defensive ball. It was so weird. But in any case, Sinner definitely playing more aggressive in that rally. That's how he has to play. That's the normal Sinner game. Like, he doesn't want to rally with Casper. He needs to punish Casper from the baseline and play his normal, you know, baseline game, which is very, very aggressive. A big first serve and a humongous forehand again from Sinner. Casper misses into the net, 40-15. That's the Sinner game right there. Big serving, big hitting from the baseline. Sinner serving better. He's starting to get a little bit more into a serve rhythm. That was a way better service game from Yannick. That was fantastic. And it's 3-all. Made a lot more first serves in that one. So it'll be interesting to see if Sinner's going to push for a break right here. If he's going to, ramp it up a little bit. Start ripping those returns more centrally and, put the immediate pressure on Casper in this one. And that's what I mean. That's a perfect example right there. Now, that might have not looked like anything, that return, but it was central, it was deep, and it was Ruud hitting a forehand and falling back, which often will result in an error. And that's the difficulty of holding serve against Yannick. Love 15. Okay, there again, first serve from Ruud. A good return from Yannick, but a little bit short. Casper with the inside-out forehand dropper. Misses it wide, love 30. Here's the window for its Sinner. He's going to want to take this opportunity right here and blow this match wide open. Another central return, deep one. There's a drop shot from Yannick. It was very close to going in, so I can't hate on it too much. It wasn't a poor shot selection drop shot on that one, because he was, in a pretty good position there. I think right on top of the baseline, so can't hate on it too much. But again, it's like when you have a forehand lined up that you can rip inside out. I don't know. I'm just... Listen, I understand Yannick wins a lot of points with this shot, and I do think it's a great weapon, but I don't know, love 30? I don't know. 15-30. Second serve, Ruud. A short return from Yannick. And a very comfortable put away for Casper. With the forehand inside out, 30-all. Uh-oh, what we got going on over here? We got camera issues, guys. I'm going to just provide the audio now in this game and then try to fix it on next changeover, okay? A big serve from Casper and another great forehand off short loopy return from Yannick. 40-30. What a turnaround for Casper in this game. Yeah, no, the camera was turned off, guys. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it on next changeover, okay? And that's a better return from Yannick right there. More depth again, putting Casper in trouble there. He's trying to get out of the way. Probably shouldn't have run around that one, to be honest. And shanks the forehand. Deuce. Darth Nick, that's funny. Forehand error from Sinner. Add in. That shot right there, that down the line backhand from Sinner. That is a shot that he dominates with. And it was too much for Casper in that rally. Put him in a very defensive position, popped the ball up, Sinner puts the overhead away. Back to deuce. Second serve from Casper. Okay, there's a big opportunity for Yannick right here. Yannick misses a spectacular rally featuring a let cord lob, great lob from Casper there off a counter drop shot from Yannick. Yannick runs back, tries to hit a forehand off a lob, which is not something that's easy. Forehand passing shot, that is. Add in. It's a little bit late on that one. He almost made it. What a game from Casper Ruud. Incredible. Because Yannick Sinner is playing better. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Let me try to fix the camera. Okay, we're back, guys. Low 15. Okay, Yannick's got to be careful here. What a great forehand from Casper. A very heavy, deep, Yannick hit that way above his shoulders, misses it wide. Love 15. He needs a first serve right here. See, that's better. When Yannick starts pounding into the Ruud backhand like that, it's a whole different story from just like rallying into the backhand. Like applying extra pressure into that side will produce some errors from the Ruud backhand. 15 all. That's a nice wide serve from center. Casper over hits a return long, 30-15. Can amateurs copy Casper forehand? You know, it's so funny you bring that up. I just made a video on copying takebacks. It's going to come out on my channel maybe next week or maybe after Roland Garros. You can copy like the fundamentals, but the style, you should develop your own. Ruud tries again, cross-court heavy. This time misses a little bit wide, 40-15. Yannick overcooks a forehand, 40-30. That's a big hold from Yannick right there with a big first serve. Very important. 4 all. Let's see again if he's going to try to attack the middle on his returns and try to put Casper under pressure. I think this is going to be a very difficult hold for Casper right here. Look how beautiful it is over there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the nature around these courts looks magnificent there. All right, let's see what Yannick will do in this service game. Casper needs first serves in this one for sure. But 4 all, that's a danger zone. If you're 4 all serving against center, you better be on the lookout. Yannick overhits a backhand, but off a very strong forehand from Casper. 15 love. Look at the forehand quality from Sinner in the last 4 games. 5.9, 52 week is 8.8. Second serve. There's a double fault from Casper. 15 all. Like, how do you improve on knowing if a ball is going out when you're at the net? When you're in doubt, play it. And develop a feel for it. But when you're in doubt, whether, oh, I don't know if it's going to go in or out, you play it. There's some obvious signs that it's going to go out. I can't really do it here. I would have to show you on the court in a video. That's not a bad topic for a video, actually, for like a short. Yannick with the best drop shot of the match, putting a lot of pressure on Casper, hitting the ball deep, strong. Casper's fighting back there, and now the drop shot makes a lot of sense. When you hit the forehand this close to the line, then you follow it up with a dropper, that's perfect. I approve of that. 15-30. Second serve from Casper. Yannick does not sneak in. Back-to-back drop shots. This time, Casper doesn't even run for it. But again, it comes off a very deep ball that's this close to the baseline. So it makes a lot of sense. Perfectly executed drop shots with great shot selection. 15-40, 2 break points. Yannick's parents are there. Big serve from Casper there. Yannick misses a backhand return, 30-40. 1 break point left. And Yannick wins this game with drop shots. Probably the worst drop shot out of the bunch, this one, but in fact, it was so bad that Casper overhit it. You could call it a forehand slice, inside out. Ruud misses the backhand long, breaks center. Be right back, guys. I've been critical of the center drop shots at certain times, but I'm not critical of it here because, again, the first two perfectly executed with Ruud that far back behind the baseline. And then on that last one, it was more of a forehand slice. So let's see if Jannik can find the first serve here. His first serve percentage did go up a little bit. It's 48% right now. He's served better after not making a single first serve into the second or third point of the second service game. So fantastic start, absolute bomb. Blast down the tee, follows it up with a forehand winner inside in. 15 love. What could end up happening here is like Sinner wins 4-1 and looks like a super easy final, but this first set, it could have gone both ways. It was a very tight first set. Second serve. And a forehand slice from Casper Ruud. Maybe he thought about hitting a drop shot at first and changed his mind. Maybe he overran the ball a little bit. It's a weird shot choice by Casper. 30 love. Yeah, Sinner is definitely playing better. You can see in his body language. There's something going on in the first two games. He was just tight, Wasn't hitting out on the shots. Was definitely a little bit tentative, but understandably so. Just look at those people behind Sinner sitting there. I mean, it's like looks like the very important people in Italy. Let's put it that way. And another fabulous point from Jannik. Puts the forehand away. 40 love, 3 set points. Jannik is playing his normal game now. Getting that break opened him up. He's going to break this match wide open right here. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the second set is like 6-1 or 6-2. This is the Sinner that we've grown accustomed to over the last couple of months. And a Pete Sampras style jumping overhead to win the first set 6-4. Jannik Sinner has woken up. He is back to his normal self. This was an impressive first set because, let's just go back to the Ruud Dardery semifinal. So maybe Dardery was feeling like similar to Sinner, was feeling tight. And, he wasn't able to get out of it. I mean, of course, it's a different skill set, and this is the first time he was in a semifinal. But I just want to make the point that, normal tennis players, when they feel like that, they don't come out winning. They usually lose. They might start playing better as the match goes on, but when you're feeling tight and and you're not hitting out on your shots and you're not making any first serves, to turn that into playing well, it needs to be pointed out more because Sinner does this time and time again. He did it in the match in Monte Carlo in the final against Alcaraz, where his first serve percentage was very poor, and then in the tiebreak he made every single first serve. So take a look at this service game where he's serving out the first set. This is the top level Sinner, and the fact that he can end up like that after starting so poorly, that is one of the greatest qualities that he has, and that's what great champions all have in common. Because again, it might sound like something that's like easy, okay, but most players will succumb to their faults. Like when they come out tight, they come out not serving well. They pay the price for that because, of course, the opponent's probably, going to be very confident. They're going to play well. So to be able to turn that around, that's not normal. That's extraordinary skill set to have. And yeah, I think the second set for Casper Ruud is going to be very, very difficult. I don't see how he wins that one, to be honest with you. Played a good first set, Casper. He did what he could. He tried to mix things up. will Simone and Lucy come out to play, Nick? I don't know where they are. Simone's sleeping somewhere. Lucy, nowhere to be found. I don't know where they're at. Yeah, random tennis gal. Yeah, for sure. It's like you said it right. It's a reset, you know? It's not so easy. Just look at what happened to Dardery. That's why I brought him up. The whole match, he was like out of it. And people are saying, oh, maybe he's tired from the previous match. Maybe he was. But to me, that looked more like mental. Maybe physical combined, but for sure mental. He was just tight. He was not himself there, and he lost 1-1. Match was over like that because he plays Casper Ruud, who's like an amazing clay court player, you know. So cats are living their independent life. Yeah, I grew up with dogs, and I learned with cats later in my life that, you know, they do their own thing. They do their own thing. They're their own boss. All right, second set, Casper Ruud serving first. Nice rally from Casper, good forehand towards the Yannick Sinner backhand. 15 love. Second serve for Casper. Big hitting from Yannick, putting the ball down the line Medvedev style, referring to the last match that Medvedev played. And 15-all. Ruud overhits. Is it Nick or Nick abbreviation? You know, I've always gone by N-I-C-K, Nick, N-I-C-K, always. And you know, people even in Croatia and Germany used to call me Nick. So I've been going by that nickname for a very long time, and I like N-I-C-K. I like the look of that better, so I've been going by N-I-C-K. Not a big fan of N-I-K. That's a nice forehand again from Ruud, inside out off a good serve, 30-15. Yeah, that Ruud forehand, you know, it might not be the most spectacular looking forehand, but you know that it's got a tremendous amount of RPM on it. It's so good. And when you're on clay, that thing can do a lot of damage. See, when Ruud is being pushed back, that's trouble for him. And you know, he tries to hide his backhand as much as he can. But against Sinner, that's very difficult to do. I think Alcaraz does a phenomenal job against Sinner, you know, finding his forehand from the backhand side. But often when Ruud does it, like in that last rally, he gets there a little bit too late. The ball has so much penetration, he gets pushed back by that ball. And then, you know, once you're falling backwards, you're toast against Yannick. He misses the next backhand way behind the baseline, 30-all. So the thing is, like, you know, you want to try to hide your backhand if you're Ruud, but it's going to be difficult to do. Why has US Open had the most unique winners of all slams? Cilic, Thiem, Medvedev? That's a fantastic question. You know, that's true, actually. And there was a Nishikori, remember, he was in the final against Cilic. It's hard to say. Hard to say. Incredible cross-court backhand from Yannick with so much angle and so much speed. 30-40, break point. Yeah, Casper Ruud is in trouble in this set. Yannick Sinner is playing freely. He's sitting the ball in this set. He's ripping and not missing that much. Yeah, Casper Ruud in a tremendous amount of trouble now because it's Sinner's normal hitting from the baseline. It's deep, it's heavy, and he's being stuck back there, pinned back there. And as soon as he gives Yannick something a little bit weaker, there comes that down the line backhand. It's the top level Sinner has awoken, guys. He's here to stay, and he appeared once he got the break in the first set. And now it's, unfortunately, it's about collecting games for Casper Ruud, so he doesn't lose this set 6-0. It's gonna be 6-1, 6-2, something like that. Because this is, when Sinner plays like this, it's a little bit of a mismatch on, on any surface. I mean, it's not a accident that he beat him 0-1 last year in Rome, that he beat him 1-2 ATP Finals 2024. And when he's on fire, Sinner, it's just that there's a little bit of a hole there in the baseline on Casper, which is the backhand, and Yannick is going to take absolute brutal advantage of that. But like I said prior to the match, there was that factor of Yannick's nerves, and I think Casper could have won this first set. I really think so. But Yannick, again, so amazingly was able to find himself in that first set because he did not start well at all. Yannick has found his first serve as well. Isn't that weird? Like, I talked about this in a lot of my videos, where you can go from serving horribly, all of a sudden you're serving one first serve after another. That's like, it's the mystery of tennis, It's like, you look at those serves side by side, you're trying to see technical differences. It's going to be very difficult to spot something. So it gets very complex, guys. But in any case, Sinner, from not being able to make any first serves, I think he's serving a lot better now, and he's ripping ground strokes. It's a completely different player. 40 love. Don't forget, when Sinner was out, Carlitos was dominating. Look, Carlito caught fire last year when I named him New Alcaraz after Miami. And it's true. Like, he was, when Sinner was out, not in Miami, of course, but he won Monte Carlo. And he won Rome. Was in the final Barcelona. It was for sure a great clay court season from Carlitos. Can't call it quite dominating though, because if you want to make comparisons, like these rampages that like Rafa's been on and Sinner now has been on, this is like, it's incredible to win everything. To win every single tournament consecutively, to not have any hiccups. This is incredible. Casper with a nice little backhand winner off a Sinner drop shot, 40-15. And there's another big first serve from Yannick Sinner out wide. 2-love. Again, Yannick Sinner has found his serve. From not being able to get any serves in, now it's like a completely different player. Let's check the stats right here. First set actually ended with a 52% first serve percentage, even though it was extremely low. Okay, my app says he's made all first serves in this game. I don't know if that's true, but... Oh, no, okay. He made... Okay. No, 67. He says 67% in the second set, but it's just off of one game. How do you think Carlos will return? Will he win Grand Slams? I don't know. I mean, you got a Sinner here who's on fire. It's going to be tough. But I think, on grass, it's a little bit different because everybody's in the same boat, not having played that many matches on grass. So if Carlos is healthy, that's actually a perfect time to come back. And I do think that Alcaraz now should not skip Canada. I think Carlos Alcaraz should go to Canada, give himself an advantage there. And I think Sinner, depending on how he does in Wimbledon, he should skip Canada and give himself a little longer summer vacation. Maylob is in the house. Good to see you in here, Ismail. And a wild forehand error from Ruud, 15-all. 12-30, sorry. If he goes down to a double break right here, there's like match points right here. It's like if Sinner gets this game, it's over. Big serve from Casper. He needed that one, 15-30. You think Alcaraz was praying in Monte Carlo final because of the wrist injury and hence there should be an asterisk on the match? No, he blew his wrist out in the Virtanen match on a return of serve. That's where he got hurt. There was nothing wrong with his wrist in the Monte Carlo final. If you remember, that final was very windy. It was a very windy match. Both players were far away from their best because of the wind. It was like, I think, 17-mile-an-hour wind that day in Monte Carlo. It's 17 mile an hour, not 70, 17. And Yannick misses a forehand, raises his hands up into the air like, what? How can I miss that? Because he's not missing anymore now. 30-all. You should have Shamir call into your live to see what he thinks of Sinner's play. I could do that, actually. I could do that. Super Dave is in the house. Hoping for a competitive second set. If Casper can hold serve, get into some service games with Yannick. But it's going to be tough to hold serve, actually. That's a beautiful point from Casper Ruud right there. 40-30. Nice lob. He was in a lot of trouble in this rally. Sinner hit a pretty good volley, and Ruud hits a defensive lob over the Sinner backhand. Do you think Sinner will skip 1,000 while he still has such a chance to be the first one to win all 9? I'd love to see him try to do something crazy like that. But thank you for the super chat, Joe651. I appreciate you. If Sinner wins this match, he's won all 9. He's won every single Master Series tournament, including the ATP Finals, even though I always find that weird how that doesn't count as a Masters, but it doesn't actually. But he's won everything. He's won all the big titles except Roland Garros and the Olympics if he wins this match. So he's completed all 9 Masters. He won, I can tell you exactly which he won. He won Cincinnati in 23. No, he won, Cincinnati in 24. He won Toronto in 23. He won Indian Wells this year. Miami, he won in 24 and 26. Shanghai, he won in 24, I think. He won Paris in 25. What did I forget? Monte Carlo, he won this year, 26. Madrid, 26. Did I miss anything? No, that's all of them. So if he wins this, he's won all of them. Oh, he means this year. I'm sorry about that. Did I misunderstand you? Okay. Okay, let me answer that. Beautiful rally from Casper Ruud. Very aggressive forehands. Puts away the forehand. Yannick Sinner is complaining about something. And back to deuce. Breakpoint saved. Okay, let me read that super chat again to see if I... Do you think Sinner will skip 1,000 while he still has such a chance to be the first one to win all 9? Oh, you mean all 9 in the same year? Do I have a Zelle account? Yeah, but it's tied to my phone number. I can't give it. I can't get that out publicly. It's so hard. It's so tough to say. If Yannick Sinner wins Wimbledon, I want him to take some time off and go on vacation and skip Canada. I think if he goes, it's just so close together, the Canada and Wimbledon. But if he goes out in Wimbledon early for some reason, or I don't know, which is unlikely to happen, then he should play. But maybe he wants to continue this streak. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to say. Yeah, it means hold all 9 in the same year. I get it. That would be something else if you can go on a rampage like that and win all 9 in the same year. Can you believe it? I mean, there's not that many left, actually. There's only 3 left, right? I got that right? No, 4. There's 4 left. That's it. There's only 4 left. And a phenomenal hold from Casper Ruud. That's good to see, actually. We don't want to see a 6-0 set. I mean, if you're a Sinner fan, maybe you want to see a 6-0 set, but I think it's good for the final to be competitive. That's a fantastic hold. Got out of a jam there. Break point down. He means hold all 9. Okay, yeah. You know, if Sinner is thinking about those things and those records, then yeah, go for it. And I'm not disrespecting the Canada Masters. I think it's a fantastic tournament. I mean, I love watching that one. I just want to make sure that these guys don't get burned out, you know? Because as I've said in previous live streams and videos, like for European guys, I feel that they need a little bit of a summer break because that's when you go on vacation in Europe. So it's better to take a break there, in my opinion, than to take a break like during Madrid, which is like in May, you know, or end of April. So skip Monte Carlo in April. Like, what are you going to do there in Europe? You're not going to go somewhere on vacation. That's weird, you know, like you're probably going to be training anyway. But I feel in the summer, you've had like half a year you already played. It's like that mid-year break. You go on a little vacation after Wimbledon and take a week off or 2. And maybe it's enough to just take a week off and then he goes to Canada and plays it. I don't know. I think it would be cool if he can break that record. And maybe he should go for it if he's feeling fit. But let's focus first on Wimbledon and see Roland Garros first and then Wimbledon and see how he does. All right, 2-1. Sinner serving. 15 love, big first serve, and a forehand blast from Sinner inside in. He's feeling the ball now. Doing a lot better. Monster serve from Yannick Sinner out wide. It was an ace. 30 love. I recently noticed the Sinner isn't wearing those ASO ankle braces lately. As you not wearing them on clay. I never knew that he wore those braces. Ace from Sinner, 40 love. Nick, do you watch the match with commentary? No, I don't. I got the I got the volume on minimum. I can't listen to a commentary or match and then commentate myself. It's so distracting. Okay, another big serve from Yannick, and he misses a forehand wide. 40-15. Canada is 2-week tournament. Yannick goes for the T serve. Misses it wide. Second serve is so good from Yannick. That's a perfect forehand drop shot. Did he make it? He did make it. Not a perfect dropper there. Casper didn't even run for it. That's a sign of the quality of the drop shot. Great shot selection there. Hold center, 3-1. Canada's 2 weeks to one that has a final on Thursday. I don't know if they're going to do that again. That was absolutely ridiculous last year. The final on Thursday. I feel like that tournament has been ruined the most out of all tournaments is the Canada Masters, what they did to that one. Because, yeah, last year it ended in the middle of the week on the Thursday. It made no sense whatsoever. Like the Canada and Cincinnati like went into each other in the middle of a week and made no sense. It was... So in my opinion, that's a good one to skip for like the top guys. Everyone else should play. The big looping return from center. It goes a little bit wide. 15 love. No. No more Acapulco tournament now? Is that for real? They got rid of that one? Another nice rally from Casper Ruud. Big serve, 30 love. Not sure if that was a slice or a drop shot from Casper Ruud. It was a very low trajectory on that if it was a drop shot. In any case, he misses it into the net, 30-15. Another second serve from Casper. He's got to be careful here. There's that down the line backhand from center. It's so good. I thought Yannick had the opportunity there to go for the Rafa 360. He didn't. 40-15. You know, Casper Ruud is hanging in there in this set. This is very encouraging to see. You know, A lot of other players might have gotten blown out in the second set, but he's making this second set, I'm not going to say tight, but he's sticking with Jannik. It's only one break. Very impressive from Casper. And there, just a humongous down the line backhand winner from Sinner off a forehand approach shot from Casper Ruud that wasn't hit strongly enough. 40-30. Yeah, he didn't hit that hard enough, deep enough. It's too right into the Sinner racket, no chance. Jannik is the best passer on the ATP Tour by a long shot. 40-30. A little bit of SMV from Casper. Puts the overhead away. Great game from Casper Ruud. Very impressive. Very impressive so far from Casper. You know, it's not easy against this level of Jannik, because Jannik's playing well in this set. Feeling the ball, ripping it, and he's staying with him. Only one break. Now, look, if this stays within one break, because Casper served first, if Jannik is forced to start serving for it a little bit closer to the set's finish, not necessarily this next game, but 4-3 game, especially the 5-4 game, serving for the match, if Casper keeps it within one break distance, maybe Jannik start feeling it again a little bit. Unlikely to happen. I think nerves have dissipated for Jannik, but theoretically it could come back when it's time to close out the match. I don't think it will happen for Jannik, but if you look at it from Ruud's angle, you should definitely just keep fighting. Keep fighting, you never know. Yeah, Mela, a lot of people love the Ruud serve. They love the Kyrgios serve. I talked about this earlier in the live. People love a quick service motion. They love the look of that. I personally don't. I like a more gradually accelerating rhythm. To me, it's someone like a Sampras has the most beautiful artistic serve, because it's it starts slow and then builds up fast. You know, it's slow to fast, or John McEnroe. Casper Ruud is fast the whole way. This is subjective because it's stylistic. Personally, not the biggest fan of that type of style. Okay, a lot of people, I got the TV on with the stream. A lot of people complain about when the screen gets minimized to and it starts showing stuff on the side and the bottom. People hate that so much. They put the results in there, the men's doubles. People hate this so much, and I don't know why Tennis Channel does it. On the stream, you don't have to worry about that. The stream has a full screen. The beautiful little drop shot lob combo from Sinner, 15 love. He looks very confident, very calm. Body language way better than it was in the beginning of the match. Ground strokes are going deep. Casper Ruud finds himself struggling back there. And then when Jannik sees him struggling back there, he does a little dropper. So again, shot selection on the drop shot is very good in this match. Very good. I approve 100%. And I'm critical of the Sinner drop shot. But not in this match, is very good. Tommy, I prefer 1 week Masters. I did a post on Threads, and I've talked about this ad nauseum on my channel. I think 2 week Masters are terrible. I mean, if you want to keep Indian Wells as a 2 week, it's always been a 2 week one or a week and a half. And that's cool. But all the other ones, there should be 1 week. They should make the draws smaller. I feel like these tournaments kind of start dragging on once you get to the quarters. The first rounds is okay, but once you get to the quarters, it's just not enough matches. 30-15, Sinner with a big serve, forehand put away cross court. serving a lot better in the second set. Kathy says, I don't know anyone who prefers 2-week Masters. I certainly don't. And even the players don't like it. Because we want to watch tennis. Like, that's why I love Monte Carlo Masters, because you have every day. Yeah, I even loved it when the Big Three era. Every day you had a Djokovic match, a Federer match, and a Nadal match. Like every day, back to back to back, all the way to the end of the week. And like Andy Roddick said on Serve, like these players train to be able to play a best-of-3 match every day. Yes, you can get unlucky and have one that's like 7-6 in the third and wear yourself out. But look at Medvedev. Like, I know he had a walkover in this tournament, but he had that really tough match against Landaluce, and he came back to play Sinner, and he was fine physically. So these players are top fit. They can do it. And they like the 1-week Masters because then they can go home and rest afterwards. Or, you know, it's now creating these super challengers. But let's discuss this on another video. Let's focus back on the match. 30-all. And Jannik Sinner comes up with a big serve out wide. And another forehand winner, one of many in this match. Inside in, 40-30. It's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a window for Casper, but 30-all is like a big point in a service game, you know? It's like either game point or break point. Why did Ruud ditch his initial tactics? He didn't really ditch him. It's just that Jannik Sinner is a completely different player. Jannik Sinner in the first set, especially in the beginning, was like nowhere near this level right here. He was not making any first serves. He wasn't hitting it quite as hard. And, you know, Ruud took advantage of that early. Okay, big first serve from Jannik. Doesn't put away the overhead. Ruud gets a racket on it, but he overhits his defensive lob a little bit. Holds Sinner 4-2. All right, Sophia, you take care. Thank you for coming in here. Sinner 2 games away from completing a Golden Masters. This is huge, guys. Tennis history on the line right here. But I got to tell you, Casper Ruud is hanging in there. I did not necessarily think that this was going to happen. He's playing tough. Nice backhand cross-court comes in. Jannik Sinner, I think maybe overruns the ball a little bit. Hits the backhand wide, 15-love. Jaleur, you thought Ruud was playing more loopy balls to begin with? In the beginning, he was mixing up a lot, yeah. Loopier and slice backhand. But you know what it is? When the other guy starts hitting harder, and puts you like, he starts hitting the ball longer, you really can't, like, you just have to react to that and try to stay alive. You really can't manipulate those type of balls that well. For example, hit a slice ball on clay off a very long shot from Sinner. It's like very difficult to do. Jannik Sinner with the squash shot brings Casper in and then passes him down the line, 15-all. Eastern European ATP player with long hair, some health issues, but he had a super quick serve. You're thinking of Alex Dolgopolov, or like they say in US, Dolgopolov. Ukrainian player. Very quick serve. Super quick rhythm. (30-15). Again, Casper very impressively hanging in the second set. Are there any Italians in the chat can tell me who these people in suits are that are standing behind from where Casper is serving right now? Could you tell me who that is? Is it like some politicians, or who are those people? Laurinia, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Super Dave, very quick serves look really hard to learn. Yeah, it's like if you have a body that like and a style that like that can accommodate that needs that's how you play tennis. Maybe your other strokes are similar too. Then it's all good. Like if that's your style, there's nothing wrong with it. But people with a completely different serve motion rhythm will try to serve like Nick Kyrgios, and it's those type of players who end up making a ton of mistakes because they're trying to serve too quick. Their toss starts getting worse. They don't load the same way. Like I said, like they start using the arm more and the body less when they do a quick serve motion. A lot of players. People from government across famous people and such. Okay, all right. Oh, but the president, okay. The president is there. That's cool. But the prime minister is in charge in Italy. Am I correct there? The president, like it's similar in Germany with the president and the chancellor is the boss kind of thing. Is that it? Oh, former PM Renzi is there. Okay. All right. Ruud holds 4-3. Again, I'm so impressed with Ruud because, I mean, I even said like after, Sinner broke early and that he broke in the first game of the second. I said that this could be like 6-1 or 6-2, but the fact that he's held 3 more times after that, it's very impressive because Jannik Sinner is playing well in the second set. So again, 4-3 now, 2 games away from the Golden Masters. And then if he can hold again, Casper, make it 5-4, who knows? Even Medvedev yesterday put that game at 5-4 in the third at 30 all, which is a big point, right? Which Sinner, he's clutch. There's a high likelihood that he's going to do something big on a 30 all point on his service games, but still, Casper has put himself in a position to stay in this match. Yes, Kathy, he was. Yeah, you're right. I think he still is, actually. Let's see, what's it? Nick, what are your thoughts on Nikolai Davydenko? He's one of my favorite players, and he actually, this is going to sound weird, but I grew up in North Rhine-Westphalia, which is like the northwest part of Germany, is a state in Germany. And Davydenko actually lived there. His brother was teaching tennis there, and Davydenko grew up in Germany, believe it or not. And he spoke German, and he made his way onto the tour through Germany. He practiced there, and he played club tennis in Germany. And he blazed through that level like you can't believe. He was so unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. Like he didn't spend a lot of time at that level, let me tell you. Incredible player. Unbelievable ball striker. And a very funny guy, actually. Some of my friends have told me. A hilarious guy. And there's actually a really good interview with Davydenko on Functional Tennis podcast. You can look it up on YouTube. Just type in Functional Tennis Davydenko. It's a fantastic interview. He talks about playing the big 3, and all that. Very interesting. Yeah, Jannik Sinner is rock solid on his serve. 30 love. He's serving well in the second set. What a turnaround. Yeah, I recognize Panata in that crowd of the guys. Yeah, him I know. I know him with a little bit longer hair, dark hair. But the other guys I didn't know. But now you guys educated me. Thank you so much. All right, Casper Ruud with a good return. Forehand cross-court winner, 30-15. So will you be supporting Croatia, Germany, or USA in the World Cup? Always Croatia. Always. Always Croatia. Not a big fan of the Germany team. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Never root for them. But yeah, Croatia, big time. Big time supporting those guys. And there it is, 30 all. Can you believe it? A little bit of a bad bounce maybe on the center side. A very deep forehand from Ruud. Yannick Sinner, it's an off-center backhand. 30 all. You going to any World Cup games? I doubt it. I don't think so. I mean, it's in the middle of the tennis season. Maybe if I have a time, I don't know. But my schedule is insane. Like I don't have a lot of time for anything. Didn't even get the chance to go to F1 this year in Miami. Would have loved to go. It was during the Madrid final. I went last year. I love F1. So I don't know about World Cup. I'm probably not going to go, to be honest with you. Second serve from Yannick. There's a big point right here. Ruud hitting the ball very hard in this one. But Yannick is on absolute fire. What a defensive shot there. That inside-in forehand from Ruud was very strong. But Yannick's response was a deep forehand almost at the baseline. Follows it up with an inside-out forehand winner. 40-30. This is, a point. You're not going to see this in the stats anywhere, but this is maybe one of the most important factors for a GOAT level player like Yannick, because at the 30 all on his service game, he's going to play this point better than the rest of the tour. And there's a great two-handed backhand from Ruud running down a drop shot, brings it to deuce. And I'm going to share an anecdote from Ivan Ljubicic, a next changeover regarding these big points with the top players. But speaking of big points, here's another one, 40 all. Oh, Messi or Ronaldo. I'm not the biggest football fan. I just watch Croatia, that's it. I don't watch any of the leagues or anything like that. But I kind of like Messi a little bit better than Ronaldo, but I'm not the biggest fan of either one of those guys, to be honest with you. Luka Modric. Him, I like. All right, second serve from center. Another big point. There's a backhand down the line. Forehand inside out. And an overhead miss off the frame. Break point Ruud. This stuff can happen, guys. Don't feel bad about missing overheads if you're an amateur player. If Sinner can miss one. Not an easy overhead, by the way. And he didn't move his feet there. Should have maybe adjusted a little bit there. He was for sure too close to the net. He should have backed up a little bit on that one. He caught the top of the frame there. Break point to Ruud. Let's see if Sinner comes up with a big serve. And he does. A monster serve down the tee, followed up by an inside-out forehand winner. Back to deuce. The break point vaporized. Sorry. Yeah, overheads can be tough. They look so easy on TV, but they're actually not so easy. Another big serve from Yannick. Okay, he's finding his serve when he needs it the most. It must sound like a broken record like 2-3 years from now with Yannick, but it's true though. It has to be repeated. Break point down, he finds the serve. Deuce again, finds the serve. And I was surprised. He played a great rally in that where he missed that overhead. That was just a thing that can happen, you know. And we lost video, guys. We're going dark. This is Darth Nick. We're gonna fix it on the changeover. We're going dark, guys. We've gone dark again. And Ruud hits the backhand long. And it's 5-3 Sinner, 1 game away from the Golden Masters, his first Rome title. What's going on with the camera, guys? It should be back now. Okay, we're back, guys. We're back. Intuitive tennis after dark. I love that. I love that. All right, Casper Ruud, 15 love. The big serve down the tee, an ace, in fact. This is an important hold for him. If you get a hold right here, make Yannick serve for it. Look what happened in the last game. You know, Yannick's been serving well and still missed the overhead there. And he went over deuce. Never know. A beautiful S&V there from Casper Ruud. He's got great volleys, Casper. 30 love. Nice to see that, actually. That's a great play on clay. Serve and volley off a kick serve. So let me share that anecdote from Ivan Ljubicic if Casper Ruud holds here, okay? Sinner's ace percentage has gone down lately. Yeah, probably because of clay. Or do you think it's gone down in the clay season? And it's, you know, I've heard from a lot of players that the Rome courts are playing slow. So that could be another reason. And especially if they're playing at night, and Yannick Sinner has played at night here, more difficult to hit aces. And again, another beautiful point at the net from Casper Ruud. He slides into that volley beautifully, closes in to it off a forehand approach shot because Yannick hit that little slice dipper. 40 love. Second serve for Casper. Casper goes for the second serve there. Double fault, 40-15. How do you see Medvedev's chances at RG? I see him pretty high, to be honest. I think he's going to have a good seed. I think he deserves to be in the top 5. He's number 4 in the race right now. But unfortunately, he's going to be seeded like number 10, I think, right? Or 9. So, yeah, I think he's going to win matches there. But you never know. I mean, every tournament is different. You never know. Conditions, I think, also matter. I don't know. It's going to be hard to say. But, yeah, Medvedev right now, top 5 player in the world. No doubt about it. And a great hold from Casper Ruud. And now it's Yannick Sinner serving to win his first Rome title and to win the Golden Slam, meaning to win every single ATP 1000 level tournament. So let me now share the anecdote for Ivan Ljubicic. And he was asked, this was also a functional tennis podcast interview, a great interview. And he was asked, like, you know, what the difference was between him and someone like Guga Kurten, you know, a 3-time Grand Slam champion. And Ivan Ljubicic is a Davis Cup champion, an ATP 1000 champion. He won the tournament in Indian Wells. Number 3 in the world, has beaten all the greats, you know. Took Nadal to 5 sets. I mean, at that Madrid indoor ATP 1000, remember that one? So anyway, you know, great player, Ljubicic. But Guga on another level, right? Like, he's more like 3-time slam winner. There's something different about him. So they asked him, what's the difference between you and Guga? And he said, like, you know, there's really no difference. It's like very, very similar, if not the same level. But Gubic said that when it's 5-all, 30-40, or deuce, and you're serving, and all of a sudden Guga will start hitting winners on the line. And he'll just come up with these clutch shots when he needs them the most. And that's the difference. Like, that's what makes these players great, is that they find their best tennis when it matters the most in these clutch moments. And that's how they win matches, you know, because there's some deciding points in when matches are close here and there. And even here, you know, at 6-4, 5-4 center serving, there was a little bit of a danger from Jannik in some spots in this match, especially in that first set. So let's see what's coming here. Rally on the first point. And there it is, the Jannik Sinner trademark down the line backhand winner. I think Jannik Sinner has the best down the line backhand on the ATP Tour right now. And, you know, if you want to be more specific, like, he's actually hit that in the middle of the court, inside out. So that's actually an inside out two-handed backhand, you know. It's not the same as down the line. And he can hit both of those really well. And this one he likes a lot. And he likes to lean into it, jump into it. And there's a lot of margin on that shot. The big first serve from Jannik right there, 30-love. 2 points away. He doesn't look nervous at all, guys. I was speculating maybe, you know, nerves are going to be a factor if he has to serve for it, but no nerves whatsoever. He looks calm, cool, confident. First serve is working now, you know. He doesn't have to go into rallies. It's incredible. Two points away. Another first serve. Jannik Sinner's swing volley on the forehand is so incredibly solid. Like, he does not miss that shot very often. And, you know, this was a transitional swing volley there, but, you know, he had to come up there quite quick. Not an easy ball, and he hits it perfectly. 40-love. 1 point away, guys. 1 point away from his first Rome title. An unbelievable streak that he's been on. Incredibly calm, cool, confident in this game. Match points. And Jannik Sinner wins Rome. Kick off a first serve. Inside and forehand. Ruud loops the ball up, and Jannik Sinner rips it. Kind of weird and loopy inside out for a winner. It was very close to the line. And it's incredible. We're witnessing tennis history. This guy has won consecutive ATP 1000 tournaments starting in Paris last year. He's gone back-to-back Paris. He, of course, won the ATP finals. He won Vienna. He won the Six King Slam also in that little stretch there. But he then went on to win Indian Wells, Miami, Monte Carlo, Madrid, Rome, all back-to-back. He's got all of them now, all 9. The only tournaments, big titles that Sinner is missing is the Roland Garros, which he's the big favorite for, coming up next. Because I don't think that Sinner should play Hamburg. I'm just kidding. No, Sinner needs a break. He needs to rest this week, big time. He doesn't need to play anything else. So that's really the only thing that's missing is Roland Garros and Olympics, and he's won everything. And now it's more about winning everything twice, like Novak, and then 3 times. But I don't think he looks at it this way. This is, I think, one of the most important titles for Sinner. The reason why I say this is that Yes, he's won the ATP Finals, which is a tournament that's in Italy, and you could say that that's the 5th biggest tournament in the world. But this is a very important tournament. There were very important people in the crowd. The Prime Minister, Panatta, was there, who I think is going to present the trophy. His family is there. You know, this is a very important tournament to win, and I think he wanted this one very badly. I think last year during the clay court season, there was not just one tough loss for Jannik. There was actually 2. You know, of course, everybody talks about Roland Garros, that he lost after having 3 consecutive match points against Alcaraz, but he also lost a Rome final to Alcaraz where he had chances in the first set. So I think this meant a lot for Jannik, and we saw it because he got tight. He got a little bit tight. Of course, in that match against Medvedev, but there was also something weird in the match against Rublev after he had lost his serve in the second set up a double break 4-1. All of a sudden, there was something weird with Jannik. And then even today, the first 2 games, Jannik wasn't hitting full out. He didn't make a first serve for like a game and a half on his service games. He was missing every single first serve. But then, you know, the great champion that he is, he was able to turn this around. And Casper Ruud, a fantastic clay court player who didn't play a poor match, played well, I thought, through the entirety of the match. I thought it was a good match from Casper. Jannik Sinner was able to turn this around and find his best tennis. And, you know, that's what the best players have in common, is that they can find their best tennis when it matters the most, and they can turn bad things into good things. They can recover in matches. They can do all that. And Jannik Sinner had to do all that in this tournament. I think the fact that he played it, and there was let me tell you, I've been following Jannik Sinner. I've been following his every step, okay? And people in my comments, they were complaining about Jannik's schedule. That he's going to wear himself out, and you know he doesn't know how to play in the heat. He's going to get hurt if the match goes to distance. He doesn't know how to play 5 sets. Like, it's all this negative stuff about Jannik. And I kind of keep showing examples of why that's not really true, because there are some examples to say that, yes, he does struggle in the heat. He does struggle in long matches, but he also, you know, won quite a few Grand Slams, okay? Where it's best of 5. And he's a special player, but I understand that even some of the fans of Jannik were worried. The fact that he scheduled, I'm not even talking about the clay court season, the fact that he scheduled all those indoor tournaments. Let's go back to that. He was going to play 6 Kings Slam. He was going to play Vienna, Paris, ATP Finals. He was going to play 4 in a row. All right? And I announced last year he's going to go on an indoor rampage after he had lost to Alcaraz in the U.S. Open final, and people were saying, "Oh my God, this is you know, he's gonna wear himself out. He's gonna get hurt. There's no way he's gonna play all 4 tournaments. There's no way he can play 4 tournaments in a row. Like, this guy's made out of glass. He's gonna fall apart or something." And then it turned out he did actually go on a rampage, and he did win everything, and he did play everything. And people were saying, "Oh, he's gonna pull out of Vienna. No way he plays that." He didn't pull out. He played it, won it. Okay, clay court season, same story. People are like, "Oh, he has to skip Madrid. He doesn't like the flowers in Madrid. He's allergic to him. He has to skip." I'm talking, this is like his fans were saying this. He's going to wear himself out. If he plays all this, he's losing in Roland Garros. And I just don't understand this viewpoint that Sinner is this like weakling, this somebody that can't handle difficult things. Like, remember, this is a GOAT level player who has qualities in all aspects of the game. Otherwise, you won't be considered GOAT level and be. I mean, he just completed a Golden Slam, so he's GOAT level, okay? So he's got actually quite the opposite of people think. He's quite good in endurance matches. He's not necessarily that poor when it goes to distance. Okay, you can make an argument if he goes to distance against Alcaraz. Alcaraz has an advantage. That'd be fair to say. But against everybody else, first of all, they're not going to even bring him to distance. And if they do, this guy can recover like he did against Medvedev, like he did against Pizziri, he's shown that he can recover. And he's proven now on 2 separate occasions that he can do like a Nadal-type clay schedule. He went on the indoor rampage and played consecutively and won everything. And now he played everything on clay. And by say everything, he played all the important tournaments. He didn't add any like 250s or 500s. Played all the important tournaments, won all of them so far. Let's see how he's going to do at Roland Garros. But to me, he's the big favorite because, popular to contrary belief, I think that it's actually more difficult to take him out in a best of 5 compared to a best of 3. Despite this thing that goes around how he's like this weak guy who can't go the distance. No, it's actually the fact that you have to win 3 sets against this guy is worse than if you have to win 2 sets against him. Why? Because 3 sets gives him more time to find this level that he showed in the second set, where it's like top level center, where no one has a chance. So even when you're 2 sets to love against him, he still can find this level and still take you out, right? Where the match would have been over if it was best of 3 match. So yeah, I think he's actually more difficult to beat on the clay. And I think like certainly it could be a very difficult match physically for Jannik, but I think he can come through. He's shown that he can get in trouble physically. You know, I'm not saying that he doesn't and that he won't, but I'm saying that he's pretty good at coming through those moments and coming out victorious. So again, big favorite for Roland Garros, Jannik Sinner, and you know, incredible what he's able to do. This is history being written, and it's a great day of celebration for the country of Italy. Let's take a look at the chat, guys, and see what's going on in there. Oh, here we go. Let me address this. Remember, though, Nick, the only test left is that Sinner has never won a match lasting over 3 hours and 50 minutes. Yeah, but who has he lost to, you know, when the match went 4 hours? I don't know the stats, but I bet you it was like one of the guys was Alcaraz and maybe Djokovic this year. So he didn't lose to like, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, if you want to go into like the nitty gritty of analysis, like if he goes into a deep match with Alcaraz, top level Alcaraz, you could say that Alcaraz maybe has an advantage. I'm not, but I'm just talking in general, you know? And yeah, that's only because Alcaraz can push him that far. Yeah, exactly. Like, he doesn't play that many. The stats is completely like, that stat with the long matches is not, and even if there are some long matches when he was younger, like this version of Sinner, like from 2024 on, I think it's like, that's a useless stat, the 5-set stat. And maybe it's not useless in that matchup against Alcaraz, but against everybody else, it's useless. I don't think people have an advantage if they go in a 5th set with Sinner, other than Alcaraz and maybe Djokovic, but that was like a very specific scenario in Australia. So everybody else going to 5th set with Sinner, I'm picking Sinner, you know? And I might even pick him over Alcaraz, maybe even sometimes. Like, I don't even think that's a given that Alcaraz is necessarily going to win if it's a 5th set. So, you know, that whole thing about Sinner not being able to last, don't think it's really 100% true. I think there's some truth to it for sure. But again, like I said, you know, you got to look at it with facts. Thank you, Talia. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you. True tennis vibe. Nick, with the anxiety and pressure Sinner was taking just to come, we can tell how important this tournament is for him. Yeah, of course. It's a very, very important tournament for him. You know, like I said, this is the one that he wanted very badly, and he got it now. And he can win more of them, you know. I think a lot of pressure is off his shoulders now. And like I told you guys, I think he's going to play better in Roland Garros because of this win. Let's see what else going on. That's hilarious. Okay, guys, look, let me just make a couple of announcements. So I'm going to analyze this match and talk about a couple more things. We're going to put this video up later today. So make sure that you subscribe to Intuitive Tennis. And I am going to make a prediction video. I'm not going to do it live, just because it's going to be difficult technically to do it live. So I'd rather do it like, I do it my own way, like I've been doing it. Those videos are usually okay. And we're going to do that on Thursday, I think, or Friday, whenever the draw comes out. And then what I'm going to do during Roland Garros, let me just announce it right now. I'm going to live stream like one match per day for like the first week. But then once we get to the quarters, I might do more. I might do 2 maybe. And once we get to the semis, I'll do everything. Once we get to the semis, I'll stream all the matches. So singles, men's and women's. So you definitely will have a live stream, for the most important matches. And by then, I'm going to have my live stream camera. I'm not going to have these technical glitches and all that stuff. But for sure, the live streams are fun because it's a nice tennis community in here, a lot of great tennis fans, and I love it. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in during this week, and I'm going to see you guys very soon in the next live stream, and then also see you very soon in the next video. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.